Hello, fellow Marvel fans. Welcome back to the channel. Episode 5 of Wandavision is here. I'm super excited to talk about it, give a little bit of a breakdown as well as some of my thoughts on the episode as well as on its implications in the future of the MCU. If you haven't watched the show yet, I highly recommend it. I think it's really clever and every episode is seriously better than the last. So with that said, the rest of this video is going to contain spoilers, so you've been warned. So this episode is really the first that shows us what's going on in Wanda's reality in the Hex and what's going on outside with Monica, Jimmy, and Darcy and the rest of S.W.O.R.D. I love this episode for that reason because it gives us the wacky sitcom stuff of the first 3 episodes and the more MCU-esque S.W.O.R.D. stuff happening outside the Hex. I also absolutely love the trio of Monica, Jimmy, and Darcy. I think they're so funny together, and I really want to see more of them going forward. Also, seeing Teyonah Parris as Monica makes me way more excited for Captain Marvel 2 because I really like her so far. We also get to see Wanda leave the Hex for the first time in the series, and she is kind of scary. We get a little more insight into her thinking, but there's still a lot left up in the air in terms of how much of this is her doing and how much she really understands the impacts of what she's doing. Even though it's clear she's behind a lot of what's happening, I still really feel like Agnes and whoever she's potentially working with has a serious part in this situation as well. My working theory at the moment is that Agnes has somehow manipulated Wanda into creating this reality for the purposes of studying her or somehow harnessing her power, or maybe to open up the multiverse, but more on that later. We also get to see security footage of Wanda breaking into a facility and stealing Vision's corpse, which explains what we saw last week, that terrifying image. But we don't really know what she's doing to manipulate his corpse. It's pretty clear that she didn't exactly resurrect him or bring him back to life. And I like that this episode doubles down on the fact that death is permanent and can't really be undone, at least not by Wanda. This is further elaborated on when Wanda can't resurrect Sparky, her son's dog. I actually feel like Agnes may have killed the dog in an effort to maybe see how Wanda would attempt to fix the situation, maybe to test her powers, to see if she can resurrect things, but I really don't know for sure. I feel like there's something shady going on with Agnes in that scene. Speaking of her sons, we get to see Wanda and Vision's 2 boys grow up a bit in this episode. I'm curious to see if they have more to do in the future of the MCU, because I know they become heroes themselves in the comics, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. I also really love the argument scene between Wanda and Vision later in the episode. The acting here, especially from Paul Bettany, is top-notch. Some really great stuff in that scene. I also love how they both sort of hover off the ground. It's like a scary scene. I love how this series really has more of an edge to it, I feel like. But it's also like super fun. Like, it's not dark, but it has these scenes that are like kind of terrifying and suspenseful in really interesting ways. Okay, now for the moment we've all been waiting for. Quicksilver is back, and not in the way I expected. This is not Aaron Taylor Johnson from Age of Ultron. This is Evan Peters from the X-Men films. Full disclosure, I haven't seen all of the X-Men movies, but I'm working on that right now. I just watched the 3rd one, so. This is exciting for a few reasons. First of all, I feel like most people prefer Peter's version of the character to Taylor Johnson's version, and I tend to agree with that opinion. Another is that death is still permanent. Wanda can't resurrect her Pietro, so she does the next best thing and takes one from another universe. This has huge implications for the future of the MCU. This really opens the door to Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool, which we knew was coming, but we really didn't know how. It opens the door for Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield to return as Spider-Man, potentially, because we've seen a lot of those rumors. And, you know, Spider-Man villains. I'm sure Sony is very excited about that prospect. But who knows what else they will use this multiverse idea for. I love this episode, both for what it does for the future of the MCU, and I love it as a super fun episode of this show. I really think that MCU on Disney Plus has been a huge success so far. I love the potential that these series have for storytelling on this different medium, where you get to explore things in a more long-form way than in a movie. Let me know what you think in the comments. I really want to know. Also, if you like this video, go ahead and subscribe and check out some of my other videos. I have other stuff on Marvel, Disney, Pixar, DC, did I say Star Wars, Harry Potter, all that sort of nerdy stuff. So if you like videos like this, check those out, subscribe. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.